Hi, my name is Kirk Haworth, and today we're going to be cooking raspberry jam and rice pudding tart using cracked, the no egg egg. So first off, we're going to get the rice pudding cooking. So we're going to add the pudding rice to the pan. Then we add the sugar. Then we've got 2 cardamom pods and 2 star anise, they go in. And then we add the coconut milk. And then we just give that a little stir, and then we bring it up to a simmer, and we just cook that slowly for about 45 minutes. Okay, so onto the pastry. So here we've got plain flour, icing sugar, vegan butter, and then we've got some of the cracked no egg. That goes into the bowl. Then all we do is mix that together. Very gently, just massage the vegan butter into the flour and the icing sugar. So once we've brought the dough together, we're just going to take it out onto the bench. We're just going to use the bench to bring it together with our hands. It's really important to get all those crummy bits of pastry off the bench using the dough so we don't waste anything. So once we've got our dough together like that, just going to roll out a little bit of cling film. Just going to wrap up the pastry like so and pop that in the fridge to rest for an hour or so. Okay, so we pulled our pastry out the fridge, and now we're just going to dust a little bit of flour on top and roll this out. So now we've got our pastry nice and thin, like so. So just going to cut out 2 pieces. We've got 2 tarts to fill today. And we've got our tart molds. And we're just going to pop the pastry in the tart mold and push the pastry down into the tart mold, being very gentle, but moving it as we're pressing at the same time. So now we've got the tart mold lined with the pastry. We're just going to roll out a little bit of cling film. All we're going to do is put the cling film into the pastry and press it down. And then we've got some brown rice. You can also use any sort of grains for this. All it does is help keep the pastry in the right shape and keep it pressed into the tart mold. Okay, so now we've grabbed the tray, and we're just going to pop our tarts onto the tray nice and gently, like so. And we're just going to pop those in the oven at 180 for about 15 minutes. So we've taken the tarts out of the oven. They're about 3/4 of the way cooked. So now at this point, what you've got to do is just take out the rice out of the tarts. So you just lift that out nice and carefully. And we pop those back in the oven for about another 5 to 7 minutes to get all the centre nice and golden brown. So now we're just going to trim round the tart pastry just to release the excess pastry hanging over the sides and to create a nice sharp finish around the sides of the pastry. And then we just break away the pastry from the sides. And there we have the finished tart pastry. Okay, so now it's time to plate. So I'm going to pop a little bit of raspberry jam in the centre of the plate. I'm going to sit the tart on top, and we're going to add around 2 teaspoons of the raspberry jam in the bottom, and we're just going to press that to coat the whole bottom of the tart. It's really important you get enough of the raspberry jam. The acidity from the raspberry jam will cut the richness of the rice pudding, so it's really important that you put enough raspberry jam on there. And spread it around nice and evenly, like so. Okay, so now we're going to add the rice pudding into the tart. So I'm adding the rice pudding warm into the tart mixture like so, nice and even. And to finish off, a little bit of hibiscus powder And there we have it, raspberry jam and rice pudding tart made with cracked, the no egg egg.